hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling the radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that Scuba Radio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for Scuba Radio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master, CJ in the studio with me.
Hola.
How you doing on this Memorial Day weekend? Hopefully you're making the best of it. We got a lot to talk about today. Even though it's a holiday weekend, there's been a lot going on this week. A new Netflix documentary called Mer People that featured a lot of the Scuba Radio mermaid crew from years gone past. So we're going to talk about that. But before we get to it, I got a text from Captain Walt DiMartini right before we started the show today that made me chuckle. I need to throw this out there because he had some minor surgery, back surgery yesterday. And so I had checked in with him via text, say, hey, did it go well? And I got this text back from Captain Walt. He says, surgery went really well. My back's almost totally healed up, but my ass is hurting. So I'm looking for someone to come down to the Gomez Hilton and rub my ass. I don't know what your schedule looks like over the next day or so, but if you can work me in, I'd really appreciate it. Now, I'm busy. CJ, what say you?
Hard pass.
Hard pass? Okay, let's see if maybe Jared the diver guy who's connected via the web, Vinny, Two Tanks, they're good friends of Captain Walt DiMartini and, of course, Mermaid Kristen, rounding out the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad today. Vinny, I'll go to you first. You'll help Captain Walt out, won't you?
I think he's got enough contact. I think he's set. He's just told you that as a joke. He's probably already set up.
No, I think he's totally serious. No,
I think he's probably got something all ready to go.
Well, I'm sure he does. I mean, Jerry the diver guy would go down to their Gomez Hilton help out, wouldn't you? Or at least manage.
Look, I'll take a many hits for the team.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to pass on this one.
Really? All right.
Yes.
Well, that leaves Kristen. And you can see her on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch on our video feed. What do you think, Kristen? Will you help our buddy Captain Walt out with his hurting buttocks?
As much as I love Walt, and as much as Walt knows I love him, I don't think that I have the proper certifications to help him out in that situation.
Oh, what a good answer. That's a great answer.
Okay. Well, what is your excuse, Vinny?
Yeah.
I said he's set up. He doesn't need any of our help.
Okay.
He's all ready to go.
All right. That's all right. Well, that's I'm busy.
Now, I'll be more than happy to pass him a drink, but
yeah. All right. Well, yeah, we do wish Walt the best, and I'm sure he will find someone to accommodate his rough feeling buttocks after his surgery. I mean, there's a lot of people that kind of go in and out of the Gomez Hilton down there in South Florida, and probably the drunken Santa, worst case scenario, who just is camped out under the dock anyway, probably help him out. And I'm sure if he does, Walt will be promptly sending us the video and pictures.
Does that mean it's party time?
It depends on your perspective, I guess. I tell you what, that would be one hell of a documentary, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
but ain't there a saying for that? Business up front, party at the back.
Okay. Well, and that which brings us to Mer People. All right, so if you
not mermaid,
if you're not aware of this new documentary that was released this past Tuesday on Netflix, now you are. It's called Mer People. You can look it up on Netflix. I don't know how well it's doing as far as people watching this show. I don't know if it's cracked.
It's doing very well.
Is it?
It's doing very, very well.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like cracked the top 10 of Netflix, when you pull it up, it has their top 10 shows and stuff, but I would imagine it'll get an audience. I watched it. There's 4 episodes, and the reason I watched it is not so much that I'm into mermaids as much as I knew there are a lot of people in this documentary that we know.
Really?
And we have had on
it helps
Scuba
you
Radio.
Understand where we're coming from. It helps you. I liked it because it helps you. It helps people like you, all of you guys, understand where people like me and Mermaid Rachel are coming from and everything that it kind of entails to become a mermaid.
Entails.
It's not just
See what she did there?
but
Well, exactly. It goes into the behind the scenes story of what it's like to be a part of the mermaid community, which there is one. Now, I'll be honest. I kind of keep it a little bit at arm's length, but I know a lot of people that are connected to the mer community, and they have this whole thing that goes on. Kristen works with them quite a bit. I mean, I love them to death. A lot of them. Mermaid Hannah, Rachel, Mermaid Rachel, who's in Vegas. She's actually out in Roatan, I believe, right now. But she's in the show. Eric the Mer Taylor, who makes mermaid tails. He was one of the first guys we worked with in back in the day when we had our first Scuba Radio mermaids from Weeki Wachee. Nikki, Denise, Abby. Mermaid Angela, the whole crew back in the day was working with Eric the Mer Taylor, and yeah, we talked to Eric back in the day. What do you think, Kristen?
No, so like one of my absolute favorite parts about the show, honestly, was the fact that they contacted the former Weeki Wachee mermaids and that they followed the Weeki Wachee mermaids. And like, there's this one woman that was part of the show. I can't remember her name, but they just show her at the age that she's at, just floating in the pool, just still in this complete serenity, just happy floating because she made her life being a Weeki Wachee mermaid,
right?
And it shows you how, as they show her later on going to Eric's tank and still doing the performance that she was able to do back when she was much younger.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just that just teared me up, and I was just like, this is so phenomenal. Like they did the mermaid world very good justice.
Well, that part of the show, I think they did get it pretty right. And Eric, I haven't talked to Eric in years, and God bless him. Back in the day, I remember when he first started making these mermaid tails, we were buying them. They were like ridiculous money. And he always had these big dreams to do all this crazy stuff. And actually you see him talking about what he's done. I'm probably talking about like 15 years ago on Scuba Radio. When he's like 17 years old, he's making mermaid tails. I'm like, what's wrong with this kid? But actually, when I started talking to him, I was like, he's really into it. He's very creative, a great kid. He worked really closely with the Weeki Wachee mermaid people, especially, the old school ladies that had been around for years, the original Weeki Wachee mermaids from the 50s. They still hang, and they're good friends with Eric, and it's good to see that they're still connected and stuff. I will say it pointed out an element, though, I'll throw out there. We started our Scuba Radio mermaids with Weeki Wachee a little bit. They had reached out to the show, said, hey, could you promote the park? We want to make it a dive. We want to focus on the diving we have available here at Weeki Wachee now. I'm like, sure. I grew up, I was 10 years old. I went to Weeki Wachee Springs and jump-started puberty. Yeah, first time I saw my first Weeki Wachee mermaid. I got all tingly inside.
Gross.
Yeah. And anyway.
Yeah, we don't want to hear about your tingly.
But I'll tell you, I was more than happy to promote it, and we started doing it. And next thing you know, there was some issues with the management at Weeki Wachee, and as far as how they were working with the girls, and I started getting earful from some of the girls that were coming over to be on the show. One thing led to another. We kind of broke away. They all got fired for whatever reason, or they quit, and they said, but we still want to be mermaid. Can we be a mermaid with Scuba Radio instead of Weeki Wachee? I'm saying sure, and they didn't appreciate that too much, and so there was some
they tell
friction.
You why they got fired.
Did they tell me what?
No, on the show, it kind of they don't go around fully saying what happened, but they also sort of do.
Yes. Well, we'll dive a little deeper into that next and fill in the blanks. But Mer People on Netflix, that's what we're talking about, at least for the time being, on the world's first radio show devoted to diving. And, well, you might see a mermaid, too.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Bula! You'll hear that a lot when you visit Fiji. It's more than a greeting. It's the spirit of this friendly country. With 333 islands, white sand beaches, and year-round tropical warmth, it's hard not to feel happy at this exceptional dive destination known as the soft coral capital of the world. Fiji Airways has a modern fleet of aircraft to take you to Fiji in style and at great prices. Contact your travel agent now or go to FijiAirways.com and plan your Fijian dive adventure. That's FijiAirways.com.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Hey, baby, what's going down?
Later, nerd.
Are you lacking with the ladies?
Nope.
Enhance your scuba superpowers with a new Scuba Radio hat.
Wow, nice hat.
Just picked it up at ScubaRadio.com.
Buy 2 Scuba Radio hats and get free shipping.
Need a dive buddy, sexy?
Always. And I got a Scuba Radio hat for you, too.
New Scuba Radio hats are now available at ScubaRadio.com.
So cool.
Order yours today, or stay a loser.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Here comes old Greg. He's a scaly manfish.
He's Greg the Dive Master.
What you doing in my waters?
The show is a disaster.
I got something to show you.
He's Greg the Dive Master.
Hi there.
Master. Dive Master. Dive Master. Dive Master.
I'm old Greg. Pleased to meet you.
I'm Nart. Hello, fishies.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ in the studio with me. We're talking about mer people. You know, mer people. I mean, mermaids is what, it is. And the reason is because, over the years of doing this show for 26 years, we have our own pod of mermaids. I learned years ago when we go out to an event like the Scuba Show, which we'll be out at next week, by the way, next weekend, June 3rd and 4th, and we got some big news for you about that to share in just a little bit. But I found out years ago that when we'd go out in public and people could see the Scuba Radio crew, they sure as hell did not want to see me. But if I brought mermaids along for the party, they would be a huge hit. I mean, the little boys would, look at the mermaids and be a little intimidated from them, but they were, kind of mesmerized by them. The little girls were like, "Oh man, do you know Ariel?" And that kind of thing. And the moms were, kind of look at the Scuba Radio mermaids like they were princesses, that kind of thing. And then the guys were like, "Oh yeah." So it worked on a bunch of different levels.
What were the guys like?
Oh yeah. And
Did they ever shoot any Luca juice on them?
There could have been some Luca juice. That is very possible. But the thing is that we use them for, I don't know, and this, I don't mean this in a bad way, but we use them as bait. And I'll tell you, a lot of people don't realize this, but all of the mermaids we've had over the years connected to Scuba Radio have a pretty intense diving background. And when I say bait, I mean that when you have them, sitting on a chair, posing for pictures for everybody at a diving event, whether it's the Scuba Show or DEMA or whatever, it's, people will come up and want to get a picture with them, and then they'll have a little chat with them. And it's great for their, I want to get a picture of a mermaid and post it up on Facebook. It works great like that. But they start talking to them and realize, like, hey, these gals are actually very accomplished scuba divers. Some of them were dive instructors. We've had sponge divers. We've had so many different levels of Scuba Radio mermaids that actually had a lot of substance. There was a lot of, stuff behind that. But is there a little bit of, their looks kind of open the door to that? Yeah, there is. It kind of works, like I said, on a lot of different levels. And it's fine. So that's why this show caught my eye when I, heard about it, and I figured I better give it a go or give it a watch. And, it was interesting. And I ended up knowing a lot of people that are in this documentary on Netflix called Mer People, including Mermaid Rachel, like I said, who's traveling this week. We'll get her thoughts eventually on the show. But let's see, Mermaid Hannah is in it. We've had her on the show before. Eric the Mer Taylor has been on Scuba Radio before. He's part of Morgana. Now, all these people from the mermaid community, a lot of them have been on the show over the years. Now, we don't dabble so much into that whole world that they kind of expose on this documentary. But, like I said, I explained how we kind of use mermaids as a marketing arm because God knows they don't want to see some middle-aged dude, out and about, as opposed to having mermaids pose for pictures. So it's good. It works on a lot of levels, especially for the kids, for the moms, and for the guys. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, it's fine. Right, CJ? You get that, right?
Oh, you don't have to explain it to me.
Okay. I didn't think so. And I don't know. Mermaid Kristen is making a really odd face. I don't know if she's having connection issues or she's just annoyed with what I'm saying right now. Kristen, care to comment or what? What do you think?
No, I was. So someone vandalized my sister's community pool that we're at right now, and they were literally like about to power wash right next to me without saying anything. So I was making a face because I was trying to move my stuff so I don't get power washed on.
Wow.
And then also because I'm trying to get one of my mermaid friends, one of the girls who I have told you about this in LA, to see if she wants to join the show, so you can get another opinion about the mer people stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was like making a face as I was like texting and trying to move and like trying to listen at the same time. And I can obviously multitask, but not triple task.
Well, that's fine. As long as she's not mad at me. That's all that matters. Casey the Tobacco.
Plenty of time for that later.
Yes.
I just have one thought.
Casey the Tobacco Nut? Yeah, what is it?
Power washing might get some of the barnacles off.
Okay, there it goes. There he goes. Right out of the box. Right out of the box.
You're in the water 24/7.
We were talking about mermaids. I'm not defending it, but
yeah. Well, I know our mermaids don't get barnacles, do they, Kristen?
No.
Yeah. See, that's just you guys.
Okay.
Come on, get your head out of the gutter.
You're thinking of whales.
Yes, exactly. We don't deal with those. Only mermaids. But
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
What, Kristen? Go.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, so overall, we knew a lot of people from this documentary that are in it.
Morgana and Sparkles. I don't know if they ever told you her real name. Her real name is Brittany.
Okay.
They're actually both very good friends of mine. I obviously know Morgana because she's from the same area as me, outside of Washington D.C. and things like that. And
right.
I watched the show and I had no idea that Sparkles was going to be like the main person it was about.
Yeah.
And I was just thrilled. I was thrilled because I know her and I thought she was great. And then I was watching and I also like wanted to cry because I had no idea. Like if you meet her in person, she's this happy-go-lucky, awesome, just wonderful person.
Right.
And I always tell everybody she's like the Lisa Frank of mermaids. Like you remember like early 2000s, there's a Lisa Frank stuff. It was all rainbows. It was a girl thing.
Okay.
But I was like, I had no idea it was all about her. But for a lot of it was about her.
Yeah, it was.
She struggled as much as she did.
Yeah. Well, they take it very, very seriously. You know, some of the people, Eric the Mer Taylor, Morgana, Sparkles. It's pretty intense, yeah. And to become a real working mermaid in a very limited field. I mean, there's only so many mermaid gigs, I guess, you can get. And, it was kind of interesting to see what goes into it. CJ?
I wish Dr. Doug was on the show.
Why?
Because I would like to ask him a related question.
About barnacles and scaling?
About mermaids.
Okay.
If a mermaid gets a heart murmur, is it a murmur?
Wow. Really? That set up for that long? For that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's not going to get any better.
Swing and a miss. They can't all be winners.
That's the kind of stuff that probably should have been in the documentary. See, we could have helped them immensely. More coming up. Stay close.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer. And Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Peregrine is a simple, full-color, multi-gas dive computer. It's also the most economical Shearwater dive computer released to date. Check it out and the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater, dive computers for demanding divers.
Do you have a message or a product that you'd like to share with the diving world? Well, look no further than Scuba Radio. Just like you, thousands of diving enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to ScubaRadio.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Hello, this is Koji. I'm a diver, originally from the land of the rising sun. But now, America, my home. You are listening to Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Run! It's Godzilla!
Now, here is someone considered by many to be the Godzilla of diving. Greg the Dive Master, coming Tokyo.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. Am I the Godzilla of diving?
Yes, bastard.
Okay, thank you. CJ in the studio with me. Scuba Radio, Scuba Squad connected via the web. Jerry the Diver Guy, Vinny Two Tanks, Casey the Tobacco Nut, Mermaid Kristen, and now we have Mermaid Kelly too. I believe it
worked.
Yes, Kelly, are you in Hawaii? Are you in Hawaii?
I am.
How about that? So she is connected with us all the way from Hawaiian
mermaid
Islands.
in Hawaii.
What are the odds? Actually, pretty good. I think there's a bunch of them out there. Probably so. What are you doing out there? You diving, Kelly, or what? Or just vacationing in Hawaii?
I always dive on vacations.
Well, perfect. Yeah, so you're on the Big Island, or what are you doing? What do you hope to do out there?
We just spent 5 days in Maui, and now we're in Oahu, and we're going to spend 5 days here.
Sweet. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
She'll have a lot to share when she joins us next week at the Scuba Show.
Do they have Wahoo in Oahu?
They have what?
Do they have Wahoo in Oahu?
Do they have Wahoo and Oahu? I would think it's pretty much
Dr. Seuss kind of day today.
Yeah, well, okay, if you say so. But yeah, that sounds good. But you are on the you're saying you're in Oahu. Did you do the big manta dive out there? Were you did you try to do the manta night dive out there in Hawaii or no?
Not yet. I just flew in here yesterday.
And boy, are your arms tired.
God damn it.
Yes.
I see. Okay. Well, anyway.
God help us.
Is it on your list? You hope to do that while you're out there, or do you know? It'll just depend on the weather and.
It's on. Yeah. Just depends on the weather.
Gotcha. Well, that is a bucket list dive
What's
for
the
most
weather
divers.
like out there right now?
In Hawaii? What do you think?
Right now it's amazing. Want me to take you outside?
Hawaii.
That would. You know what?
I'd love to go outside.
Feel free to take your phone and give everybody a view on Facebook Live and Twitch and YouTube.
Don't drop it in the volcano.
That would be bad.
I will try not to.
Right. But on top of everything else, have you had a chance, Kelly, to see this Mer People
view of the road
Mer People show or no?
I have not seen it yet, but all of my friends are in it, and I'm really excited to watch it.
Right. Yeah, I will say, overall it was done quite well. I mean, it's produced very well. They obviously put some serious money into this production. I mean, this is not a low budget documentary by any stretch of the imagination. And, I think they captured some really good storylines like Eric the Mer Taylor, Sparkles, who's a friend of Kristen, and Morgana, and, Hannah Mermaid, who's out in L.A. She lives out in Hollywood. Maybe we'll see her at the Scuba Show next week. You never know. But some of the other stuff, I don't know. I mean, they show all aspects of the mermaid community, and there is kind of a crazy element to it as well, and it gets a little out there, but to each his own.
Crazy mermaids.
Yeah, well,
people who think they're fish. What?
Right,
Crazy
they go a little overboard. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you too. It ends. Not, I'm not giving anything away, but it kind of builds up episode 4 to that Virgin Voyage cruise ship thing that they do. They have a competition, the King and Queen Mermaid or something, and we covered
King and
this.
Queen of the Sea.
Yeah, exactly. And Mermaid Rachel, was a part of that, and so we knew about that she was participating, and I kind of had an idea of what was going on. I didn't know, what it meant and exactly how this was all tied into the mermaid thing, but it kind of sets it up in this documentary on Netflix. And what I will say is they supposedly picked, what was it, like the top 20 mermaids or something across the world or whatever to compete?
The top 20 got to go onto the cruise ship to compete.
Yeah.
They chose the top 10, which ended up being a top 12.
Yeah.
And then they won. But the girl who won, Luna, her name on Instagram is Miss Luna. Her actual name is Haley.
Yeah.
She so deserved it, man. Like,
Yeah.
if you actually look at her stuff,
She's a sweetheart.
I'm sure. And like I said, I mean, I'm not knocking it, but I will say I think Rachel came in 6th from what I heard out of the 20, and I was just like, first of all, I saw. I mean, the friend of yours aside, she was fine. I would say about. I don't know, maybe 40% of the contestants I thought were okay. The rest of them, I was like, my God, if we put our Scuba Radio mermaids up against this group of 20 that they picked to compete, we would have had a clean sweep of everybody winning. I mean, I don't know that they really picked the
Maybe
best of
you
the
should have
best.
a Scuba Radio top 10.
Well, they don't base it off of certain things that you would base your stuff off of, because
I base my stuff off the truth. The
women who ran the King and Queen of the Sea also did the Miss Mermaid pageant, and they based it off of things like sportsmanship.
Yeah.
How just overall the good person you are.
Who cares about that?
Rachel's pretty sporty.
And not just that.
Oh,
not just
I
that,
know.
They go off of your different conservation that you do for the
Right.
ocean.
I
What
know,
you
I
do,
know.
how much you do.
Yeah,
Like, that's
yeah.
one of the reasons I was chosen to be Miss Mermaid Virginia, was because they were like, well, your whole life is scuba diving.
Well,
like,
right.
that's what you do, and
Yeah.
ocean stuff. So like, they were like, you're definitely like, yeah, you get Miss Mermaid Virginia,
Well, and once again, talking about the Scuba Radio mermaids that we've had over the air, like I said, all of them have substance. They're not just pretty faces. We've recruited mermaids over the years that are established divers, instructors, whatever the case may be, and they all have a backstory to them. There's substance to them. So our mermaids have a lot of that too. I just thought that, I don't know, I just didn't see that. I thought this really was a best of the best of what, of just the mermaids that I know. But wait, I'm not a judge, and it's not my thing. And I get it. as far as the king of mermaids, I mean, hell, you got Jerry the Diver Guy, Vinny Two Tanks, and Casey the Tobacco Nut. What kind of competition you think that would be? Do you think they would come out on top?
Merman Andy, the guy who actually won.
Merman Andy is tough competition.
He is one of my favorite humans.
Yeah.
We hang out all the time. Or I should say, one of my favorite mermen.
Yeah.
He's a merman.
But Kelly, Jerry the Diver Guy. Picture him in a mankini and put him up against this Andy dude. And
Well, he'd have to wear a
I
tail,
think
wouldn't he?
Andy pulls off the
Oh, that
mankini way
hurts.
better.
I'm sorry, Jerry. I was
Sorry,
trying to set
Jerry.
you up in a good way. I didn't expect him to throw you under the bus like that, but hey, sorry,
I'm
dude.
sorry, Jerry.
It's called jealousy.
Oh, there we go. Don't let the truth get in the way of your perception of yourself. That's what I always say, right, Jerry? And Jerry's speechless. He's like, I don't
trying
know.
to set up my new phone.
Oh, yeah, okay. He's multitasking, which is
Yeah, no
totally...
top priorities being on a radio show now, Jerry.
Well, I don't think that's something that the Scuba Radio fans really want to see. I don't think they want to
Jerry
see.
setting up his phone?
Oh, no, a Mermaid King, a Scuba Radio Mermaid King. So that's why we haven't done it. There hasn't been an outpouring of,
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to. I give these people a lot of credit.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I wouldn't be able to deal with the tail. It seems hot. It seems hard to get in and out of.
Oh, well, they kind of alluded to, how you get in that tail, you get all sweaty, the mermaids start stewing in their own juices. It's not as glamorous as it sounds or as it looks sometimes on TV. So they kind of talk
That's
about
what I'm saying. It seems tough.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Way beyond our pay scale. All right, more coming up. Stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Immerse yourself in a whole new world when you go deep sea diving.
Oh, I've got the perfect outfit. This is great.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. Hey, coming up in hour 2, we got Dr. Deep Sea, Dr. Deturi from the Neptune Project down there at Jules Undersea Lodge, going to check in with us. I think he's just a day or so away from finally coming back to the surface after spending over 100 days in the underwater habitat at Jules Undersea Lodge. So we're going to get him on live on the show and see how he's doing.
I wonder if he got all wrinkly.
Well, he's in habitat. And
he's in the habit trail.
Yeah. Well, it's not a
like
habit
a gerbil.
Well, we'll have to ask him.
Does he have like tunnels? And
he may feel that way.
Did he sleep on wood shavings?
There's only one way to find out, and we'll ask him. See how he got through 100 days underwater. Okay, you're asking a lot of questions that I don't have the answer for, CJ. So just hold your horses there, young man. Okay. All right, let's just focus on what we got in front of us right now.
Oh, okay.
Which is the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad. Jerry the Diver Guy, Vinny Two Tanks, Casey the Tobacco Nut, Mermaid, Kristen, Kelly. And we're kind of, talking about that Mer People show on Netflix that we know a lot of people in it. And like I said, overall, I think it was good. The only thing I didn't really get, or I was like, gosh, we could have done way better if they would have consulted us to recruit more of our Scuba Radio mermaids. I think we would have came out on top, or we could.
They should have interviewed you for the show. Come on, Greg.
Yeah, come on, Gary.
Come on, Gary.
Greg. I said Greg.
Greg,
yes,
put some
Casey.
of your Hollywood connections and set up Mer 2.
He has none. Mer 2. Well, you mean my my connections from like Sharknado 3?
Yeah. Let's do Sharknado.
I got an idea.
Makers of Sharknado.
Well, your experience with mermaids too.
Mernado. Oh, we could have a Mernado.
Mermaids flying up in the air.
Yeah.
I like
Mernado.
That could be an idea.
Be a good. That's probably $1 billion idea right there.
Well, at least at least. And Mermaido.
Mermaido.
I kind of like it.
I mean, if you just watch the camera there, it kind of looks like a mermaido the way it's whipping around.
Well, what are you talking about? Mermaid Kristen? She's out and
Mermaid
about.
Kristen, yes.
Yeah. She's spinning her camera all over, running from the pressure
I had
washer.
to move because they're trying to clean off the
barnacles
for the pressure washer.
Yeah, they got a pressure washer out. She's hanging out at the pool today. It's Memorial Day weekend. You'd expect that for a Scuba Radio mermaid for sure. But are they
They vandalized my sister's community pool. So the guy,
vandalized? Is that a code for like there is a Baby Ruth, alert?
Hey, is it possible
No, like they wrote the F-bomb on the sidewalk and spray paint, and they spray painted some people's really expensive cars that were parked on the street.
What?
Okay,
What the heck is wrong with these people? Yes, Casey,
Is it
go.
possible that the mermaid is attracting the pressure washers?
No, I don't think that's it at all.
You don't think a mermaid inside the pool might attract male pressure washers?
I know someone who needs a good hosing down, Casey.
Especially in the mouth.
Yeah. All right. Just stop.
Are there any people at the pool with poopy brown hair?
Well, hey.
See, I didn't go there.
I don't know.
Blonde. Did I write brown? I meant blonde.
Maybe they need to be pressure washed.
I don't know what's going on. I'm totally losing control here. Yeah. Well, Vinny Two Tanks.
I remember that now.
Vinny Two Tanks did watch Mer People, though, and he actually came on the show. He had the whole mermaid lingo down. You picked up a whole new mermaid vocabulary.
I learned 2 words.
Which was what, Vinny?
Shallow and fantastic.
Shallow. That's how mer people talk.
That's how they greet each other.
Shallow.
Our mermaids never say that.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Mermazing.
They don't do that.
Mermazing, right?
They don't say shallow.
Or absolutely.
I'm
not that person.
Yeah, the Mersona one.
Well,
I heard that one.
That's what the thing. I picked it up reading the Bible.
Well, okay, so Vinny, learning has occurred with Vinny Two Tanks.
Bernie Turntanks.
He called me Gary. What do you want from me? Yeah,
maybe you could be lucky to get 1 word out of Vinny. Remember? Now he just blathers.
Now it's
on
way too many
languages.
Sorry.
No, I'm joking. Feel free to
never shut up.
Talk mermaid. Vinny could be our mermaid translator.
I think we should hook the mermaid.
I like it.
I think we should hook the mermaids up with a sponsorship with Mercedes.
Okay. Anyway,
if I get a free car.
I think that's another great idea.
That's the idea.
Maybe. I'll tell you what. Next weekend, we'll be the Scuba Show in Long Beach. Kelly, Kristen, the Scuba Magician's going to be there with us as well.
I'll be there.
Vinny Two Tanks is going to be there. This will be the dive center of the universe next weekend in Long Beach, California. We will be there. Next week's show, we have to tape in advance, so you're going to get a recorded show next week, a very special broadcast. And then 2 weeks from today will be the show that we actually record at the Scuba Show. So if you're there, you might be a part of a Scuba Radio broadcast.
You know what you should have? It's way too late now, but you know what you should have named this show when you started it?
What's that?
Diarrhea.
Excuse me?
Diarrhea.
No, I don't think
I
that.
come up with these things.
He's been drinking.
That
It's
sounds-
Memorial Day
that sounds
weekend.
like a problem.
Too much coffee.
Right.
Like a personal problem.
Uh-huh.
CJ's very
Exactly.
special.
Okay. So anyway, next week will be a fun weekend in Long Beach, California. Make sure if you're in the area, you go get your tickets at scubashow.com. Be there early because the show opens at 10 a.m. each day. Saturday morning on June 3rd, we will be giving away a Turks and Caicos liveaboard trip, which, by the way, Mermaid Kristen and Kelly are going to be on as well. Myself and Scott, one of the Scuba Magicians, is going to be on that vessel. We're going to give away a spot at the Scuba Show that you could win from Explore Ventures and Scuba Radio. We got sheer water dive computers to give away, a Peregrine, one of the new adventure models that they just released. We have some Fiji products, pure Fiji products to give away. And Saturday night, we're giving away a trip to Fiji with airfare.
Sweet.
At the party. At the Scuba Show. On top of, when you go to the Scuba Show, they literally have like $50,000 worth of stuff that they give away over the couple days. just for coming to the show. You get a little raffle ticket. You go in, you put it in the hopper, and then they draw, prizes throughout the 2-day event. I mean, this is a big, big diving event next weekend. So if you are anywhere near the West Coast in Long Beach, California, make sure you come out and join the party, and don't be late for the shot at all this extra stuff. Now, the bonus, and we've been talking about this for weeks, and I am so excited because I think we're going to pull it off. And if we don't, it really doesn't matter. Still, the publicity is going to be remarkable, is that Scott, one of the scuba magicians, is going to help us open the show, not by cutting a ribbon, but by cutting a mermaid in half. And that is going to be,
guys, don't worry.
Yeah, that is, I don't know. You might, we're the reason why we have Kelly and Kristen on site. Exactly. Because Rachel.
We're like the most important one.
Well, if you say so. But Rachel has volunteered to be cut in half to open the scuba
if she
show.
doesn't show up, who's up?
Well, she'll show up. She lives there.
If she doesn't show
she's
up,
very
then-
excited. Her only concern was look, I've practiced. I think I'm ready. If this thing goes horribly wrong, what do we do? I'm like,
But I'm saying,
who cares?
Who's next on the list? If say Rachel wakes up in the morning with a horrible case of diarrhea,
ooh, yeah, that would be bad.
and then it's like I just can't make it.
Well, we're pretty much going to have to catch the next victim or mermaid.
Who wants to see the inside of this special box?
Actually, that'd be the half you want to cut off.
I don't even know what he's talking about. I think what we're going to do is we're going to cut Rachel in half to open the show, and then we're going to auction off the top and bottom, see which one raises the most money. The tail, the head, or the tail?
Pretty sure you can't sell people.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It's California. I thought you could do everything there. I'm pretty sure you can. All right. Well, anyway, that's next week, and you're going to hear it all about it on the show 2 weeks from today, just because of our production schedule. So keep that in mind. Coming up, hour 2, Dr. Deturi, Mr. Deep Sea, going to join us. Stay close to the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
If you be pressurized there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio. Let's go!
Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio.
This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters? Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.
Oh, hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling your radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that Scuba Radio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for Scuba Radio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome to hour 2 of the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ in the studio with me. We got Scuba Radio, Scuba Squad connected via the web. Jerry the Diver Guy, Casey the Tobacco Nut, Vinny Two Tanks, Mermaid Kristen, And actually, Kelly is tapped out from Hawaii. Can you blame her? She's in Hawaii. And we have another mermaid that is tapped in. And we're going to get to know her in just a bit. But before we do, we have a very special guest to join us on the show today, Dr. Joseph Dituri, who's part of the project Neptune 100 down there at Jules Undersea Lodge. He's been in the lodge for how many days now, Dr. Dituri? What can you tell us?
88 days so far.
88 so far. So you got, a couple more weeks? What's the day you plan to come up, or what are you doing exactly?
100 days total. So I'm 88 days into it, and I'm still having a good time, still doing my research.
Well, I bet you are. You know, we know Dr. Doug Ebersol. He came down and had a visit with you a few days ago or a few weeks ago, and he told us that you're holding up pretty well. But that's a long time to be underwater in one of these underwater habitats. I mean, Jules Undersea Lodge is a pretty cool setup. We've been down there and we've done some stuff there over the years, but I don't know that I'd want to spend 100 days in that habitat because it's kind of small. But how you holding up? What can you tell us?
I'm pretty terrific. I mean, this mission has 3 parts. If you'd like me to go through those, I can roll through that now, or if you think
absolutely, yeah, please.
3-part mission. I have a PhD in biomedical engineering, so my bent is biomedical engineering. I want to know what happens to the human body when you leave it in an isolated, confined, extreme environment.
Yeah.
First, I did 28 years in the Navy as a special operations officer, Navy salvage, deep submergence, and saturation diver. Wow. I said, I know we can do this for short periods of time. Here are the ins and outs. Here's what we got to do. Can we do it for 100 days? And I said, well, let's see. And the answer is, well, maybe is how it goes.
Yeah.
But what we're doing is blood, urine, saliva, electrocardiograms on the heart. Currently doing an electrocardiogram right now with the in-place monitor that continues to take everything. First time it's being Wi-Fi and then Bluetooth and then Wi-Fi to the surface. And I have a surface team monitoring me the entire time.
Wow.
I have 10 doctors on this mission. Additionally, we did electroencephalograms on my brain. We're doing them continually.
Yeah.
We're doing pulmonary function tests, as you know. At this stage of the game, I'm breathing 36% oxygen because it's 21% oxygen at 1.7 atmosphere. So it's 36% oxygen. And you know that the stay limit is 50% oxygen for 35 days. That's where saturation diving lets its limit. But how long can you stay at 36% without having reduced vital capacity? We're answering these questions. Blood pressure, all kinds of other testing, right? And it's all about being in an isolated, confined, extreme environment. You can't get out. People can come in, but you cannot get out.
Right.
You can get out and swim around. It doesn't count, though. It doesn't matter. Right? You're still under pressure, and that's the difference. I'm living under pressure.
Gotcha. Well, all those things you talked about, obviously you're monitoring the physical aspects of how being under pressure for so many days affects you. And this is actually research that'll be used when we send people to Mars and stuff like that, right? This is like the stepping stone towards that, correct?
Stepping stone towards it, we are halfway to Mars, right? So Mars is a 200-day mission. Unless you do a slingshot around the moon, which I don't think anybody's thinking that at this point, but 200 days just to get to Mars.
Wow.
So, Elon Musk is like, hey, listen, we're going to Mars. And I'm like, dude, I have questions.
Yeah.
What happens to the person? What are we going to eat? What are we going to drink? What about the radiation? So there's so many questions to answer.
Yeah.
And that's the second reason. The second reason is I want to get kids into science, technology, engineering, and math. And I want them to see that they need to do the research that we need answered. I mean, and these kids are like, oh, well, I'm not into that STEM stuff. I'm like, really? Because you guys have cell phones since the day you were born. And that cell phone vexes me. It just makes me nuts. The computer, obviously, I couldn't work it because I couldn't even get it started, for crying out loud. The sound was off on mute. Who did that?
Yeah, well, hey. These kids are geniuses today, but you're turning them on to a whole new thing. And I really applaud your efforts. For this whole program. He's gotten a ton of publicity on all different types of media, and I think that's just good, not just for diving, but obviously, like you said, especially when you're trying to turn kids onto science and that kind of stuff too. But you've talked all about the physical aspects of this project. What about the mental? You know that I'm coming with that because, there's a lot of movies where people go nuts. The Abyss, hello? I mean, so are you doing okay in that regard, or Or do you have any insights
So
when
I'd
it comes to that?
if you don't mind, I'd like to get through the 3 stages of this before we go, and then I'll come back to that if that's all right.
Yes, absolutely. Go. Finish
Like
up
I said,
then.
the third and final stage is that I get to talk to all the PhDs and MDs about diving physiology, about learning about the apex predators in the ocean and what happens when we take them. How do we transplant coral? How do we work to save our marine environment?
Yeah.
It's all about protection and preservation, and now rejuvenation of our marine environment. So when you're talking with all these people, that feeds right back into those STEM kids, right back into protecting, preserving, and now, like I said, rejuvenating it. So back on to the first part, which is the psychological, psychosocial stuff.
Yeah.
I took 19 psychological, psychosocial tests prior to starting. I've been taking them the entire time, and I will continue to take them after I leave, because we need to find out what happens to the human body when you leave it in an isolated, confined, extreme environment. So this is all like the data that we're gathering. So right now, people say I'm crazy, but I'm crazy because I'm down here. People also say I'm crazy because I skydive, jump out of airplanes. I mean, I don't tell you.
Well, most of our crew is crazy, but it has nothing to do with pressure. I can promise you that. They're certified nuts, but that's a whole different thing. I mean, you seem like you're holding up really good. We can see on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch, and you're looking good. I mean, I've seen pictures, and we've been following your progress and stuff. So nothing. I would assume, just from what I'm seeing and how you're expressing yourself, that things have been going very, very well. Is that a safe assumption or what?
Safe assumption, but just like any other mission, things go sideways, right? 12 days into it, I cracked a molar. You know?
Ouch.
And it doesn't matter how well you train these doctors, and I trained every one of them on my mission. There are 10 medical doctors, 2 psychologists, 1 psychiatrist. I trained every one of them in hyperbaric medicine, and they're like, hey, why don't we just, I'll go to Walgreens, I'll get a kit, we'll seal it up. And I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah,
Excuse me, you're going to seal it up and then do what? Oh, well, oh, yeah, maybe the pressure. I'm like, yeah, parodontology, but that's okay. That's okay, doctor.
Wow.
So you even got to check the people that you train. Smart people in the world just make a mistake. So
yeah, well.
It's just tough. No matter how hard you prepare for something, all the medical stuff that we did beforehand, every little bacterial agent that we thought we would need, every little, antibiotic that I thought I could possibly have, I didn't bring anything for a tooth. So, we did bring like a woods lamp, for instance. I scratched my cornea. I wear contacts. I scratched my cornea. We knew that was going to happen, so I brought a woods lamp, and then I brought the drops for the eyes. Everything worked out great. So we predicted a bunch of stuff, but let me just tell you something. Before we go to Mars, we need to do 10 of these analogs for 200 days or longer, because we got stuff to figure out. There's a lot of things to figure out. We have been training in the ocean, every one of our astronauts in the water, since the beginning of astronaut training. So why are we not doing analogs in the sea right now? Oh yeah, that's right, because the only habitat that exists in the United States that is not flooded is this one.
I love it. Once again, it's Jules Undersea Lodge, Project Neptune 100. Google it. You can find his website and YouTube and God knows what else. Great stuff, Dr. Duterte. And we got more coming up on the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer, and Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Taric is the best, most intuitive, and reliable wristwatch-sized dive computer on the market. Check it out in the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater, dive computers for demanding divers.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of ScubaRadio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures ScubaRadio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures Adventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explore Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit exploreventures.com. That's exploreventures.com.
Scuba action star Mike Scott is back in a new audiobook, Cayman Cowboys, Reefs Under Pressure. From author Eric Douglas comes the one that started it all. Listen as Mike deals with submarines, kidnapping, betrayal, and more.
He didn't even have fins or a mask to let him see in the water. He was going to be slow and blind. If it weren't for the float, he knew there would be no way he would ever make it to the surface.
Download Cayman Cowboys or Oil and Water, Return to Cayman, Turks and Chaos, and Lionfish at Amazon, booksbyeric.com, and audible.com.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Hi, I'm Manny. I'm your dive master lead in Aquacat, and you hear Scuba Radio.
Yeah, wait, you're the lead dive master on the Aquacat? What are you?
Yes, sir, I'm the lead dive master.
Okay, do it again, one more time.
You kidding?
No.
Okay, guys, I'm Manny. I'm your dive master lead in Aquacat, and you hear Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
The what? Okay. Hi guys, I'm Manny. I'm a dive instructor in Aquacat, and you're listening to Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to
The world's first radio show devoted to dive. You kidding or what? You did it, translate.
True.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
All right. I can do it slow.
Okay, do it slow. Yeah, do slow.
The world's first
radio
show
devoted
to diving. Devoted. You know what, guys?
to diving.
For the Spanish speakers, la mejor radio estación de radio devota de lo que es el buceo.
Yes, this is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. Couldn't have said it better myself. Yes, exactly. And, we got Dr. Joseph Dituri. Dr. Deep Sea is his moniker. He's was that before he even got down there in Jules Undersea Lodge there, Dr. Dituri, or what? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm a one atmosphere pilot for the U.S. Navy. I spent 28 years as a special operations officer. My deepest dive is 1,947 feet. So I said, yeah, it kind of fits. I can play that.
Yes.
So it's a little like ostentatious, but I figured it out. Whatever.
Yeah. Hey, he's right up there. He's right up there with the dive god, it sounds like to me.
We're going to have to explain what ostentatious means for Greg.
Okay, that's not appropriate, CJ. You're supposed to make me look good, not bad. I do that on my own. Anyway, he's at Jules Undersea Lodge doing this project to stay underwater for over 100 days, and he's got a couple more weeks to go. But he seems to be holding up quite well. And we talked about the mental aspects of being underwater like this for so long. Has any of that been a challenge? I mean, you talked about some of the issues that popped up that you didn't expect, but what about just the mental stuff? Like I go back to, the movie The Abyss, where they got that, deep sea disease. And I know that I'm not the only one who's asked you about this, but what do you think?
It's true and correct and accurate. It's high pressure nervous syndrome, has EEG changes, electroencephalogram changes in the diver. Is the first indication that you get, and then shakes and other things, usually associated with breathing high pressures of helium mixtures, but not the case here. However, the one thing that I did notice is probably the same thing you guys noticed during COVID.
Yeah.
As humans, we miss tactile function, right? Like the ability to reach out and grab somebody's hand and shake it, the ability to get the high five, the hug, the whatever. I happen to be a hugger, right? So I miss that.
Yeah.
And I've been noting in my journal since day about 70, I have truly missed that tactile feeling, right? That contact. Even though people come and go, there's a couple of people. There's really only been 57 people that I've seen in the past, 88 days, right?
Right. That's a lot of isolation. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So, you could imagine that the same people, even when you deploy as a military guy, even when I deployed, I would deploy with a whole bunch of guys, and those guys would be like high five, handshake, whatever. So you don't get that when you're alone. You don't get that when you're with just a short, small group of people. And I think truly we all learned it during COVID, but that's what the kids are missing. That's when they're on the phone getting every bit of dopamine from their phone and not getting this. I think they're truly missing that, but that's one of the findings, and I'll let the psychologist deal with that. But that's one of my observations.
Well,
sure.
I think that makes total sense. God knows the kids need to put down the phones every now and then, let alone just our crew. We even our crew spends way too much time on that, on those devices, and
You
probably.
want to hear some of the cool results?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. What have been some of the things that surprised you so far?
Blood came back. It's just initial. Please don't think that it's final. Okay?
Yeah.
The N of 1, that means it's just me, so it's not fully done science. However, every single inflammatory marker in my body is cut by half.
Really?
My oxidative stress is down by 2/3. My cholesterol is cut by 72 points.
What?
My
Wow.
telomeres are longer.
Yeah.
My stem cells have multiplied to 2 times the amount that I had when I was on the surface. My collagen has been synthesized. I mean, it goes on and on. My sleep, I sleep between 60 and 66% in deep and REM sleep. Unheard of. Last night I had 2.5 hours of deep and 1 hour and 45 of REM. Unheard of.
That is really remarkable. Now I got to ask. I mean, obviously you seem quite surprised from that as well.
Completely.
So I mean, do you think why? Do you have any idea why this is happening?
I theorize. However, I'm waiting on the sleep doctors to come back to me on this. But I theorize it's like a warm, hard, heavy blanket, like a weighted blanket, if you will.
Yeah.
So I'm at 25 pounds per square inch. You guys are at 15 pounds per square inch. And, that's the difference in pressure of 10 pounds per square inch. How does that feel? Don't really know. Could be the increased metabolism. By the way, I lost 8 pounds the first month I was down here. And I said, I'm 220 pounds. I'm a big boy.
Yeah.
220 pounds. I'm like, I am not going below 200 pounds. This is not happening. So I upped my protein intake to 2 grams per kilogram body weight. So now I take 200 grams of protein every day.
How about that?
That's a lot.
I mean, going and staying in Jules Undersea Lodge, I would have never thought that, be an alternative to going to a fat farm, but it might be. I mean, that sounds like a remarkable thing you're discovering. So I'll be anxious to see how this pans
some
out.
Some of them are known mechanism of action of hyperbaric medicine, increased pressure medicine.
Yeah.
We've known some of these, but nobody's ever put it to task in a saturation diving facility. And, even in the 30 days, they don't let you take the Aura ring down or the watch down or the whatever. So here's the first time we're tracking sleep, and it's correlated to the other, 6 or so other people have had their own watch or ring or whatever they had.
Right.
And they said the exact thing, 66% deeper REM sleep. It's insane.
I love the sound of this. We may have to book a stay there at Jules Undersea Lodge.
Yeah, man.
I mean, look at our crew.
The whole team.
We're in terrible shape there, Dr. Tuturi. We need whatever advantages we can get. And I'm not talking about you, Kristen. Just put your mouth back together.
For yourself. For yourself.
All right. So reach out to Dr. Tuturi. I mean, you're looking for people's emails. They can reach out to you through the website and everything, I assume, right?
Follow me on Dr. Deep Sea. You'll get all of it. Look, we're changing, and we're not done. We still have 2 weeks left. I'm still collecting data. I'm still doing electroencephalograms, electrocardiograms currently. There's some cool stuff coming out, so follow us on Instagram or the YouTube page, and we'll check it out.
Excellent. Good stuff. More coming up. Stay close.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo with a buddy or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Hi, my name is Lisette, and I will be your bartender at Titico Bar in Seba. Come on and see me, but until then, keep listening to Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. And now, here is a one sexy man, Ray, the dive master.
There you go. There you go. You only took 3 drinks and 2 tequila shots.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. In Saba, I'm known as Mr. Sexy Man. That's what they tell me. And Kristen is totally on board with that idea. I can just see it, the expression on her face. She's like, oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
That's she just needs to listen to the rest of that little bit.
Why?
Because.
I don't know what you're alluding to. What's he talking about, CJ? You have any idea what Jerry is
no, I never know what
referencing?
Well, I've got proof that who she chose.
Chose what?
Oh yeah. You wasn't the sexy man. It was me.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
So Jerry the Diver Guy is the one who's delusional right now.
Oh, no.
That's the best joke I've heard all day.
That is on the recording, buddy.
Okay, moving on. We have another special guest.
Move on that one.
Kristen brought her mermaid friend. Is it Bianca? Did I get that right? Or what was it? Brianna.
Brianna, yes.
Okay, there we go. Brianna, welcome to Scuba Radio. It's hard for me to keep our mermaid straight, but we're.
That's okay. It's all good.
It started with a B. Trust me.
Yes, you got that, so that's good. That's
exactly.
Great, you know?
Exactly.
So, and it ended in an A too, so there you go.
See, she grades on a bell curve. I'm liking this mermaid already. So you're going to join us at Long Beach next week. Is that the plan? Maybe.
Yes, that's the plan. I'm super excited because I've never had the opportunity to experience anything like that before. So thanks to Kristen, she's very sweet, and she also made my first mermaid top. So I'm super excited to officially meet her and all of you because ever since I was little, I've wanted to learn how to scuba dive and just kind of know more.
Yeah.
You know, life happens and you grow up and things just don't happen the way you plan. And now the opportunity presents itself. So I'm super excited.
We're glad to have you aboard. I don't know if you should thank her until after you meet us, though. That might be.
I might be getting you into something not so great, but
no.
Well, the good news is
I'll see you when I get there. It's fine.
That's right.
The good news is some of us won't be there.
CJ's not going to make it, so you won't be able to meet Cock Johnson in person.
Stop.
It's a long story, Bianca. Let's just move on. Brianna, that's what I said. Come on, pay attention.
Yes,
her new name's Bianca.
Jeez. But yeah, Vinny Two Tanks will be there. You'll meet him, and we'll apologize now. But regardless, it'll be a good time.
He'll have his mic off.
What are you laughing at, CJ? What?
Nothing.
Okay. I said
That
something,
was
I guess.
amazing. No.
No, I didn't say something. Okay.
You know, Greg, that Vinny Two Tanks is once again famous.
Why is that? What did he
He
do?
made the DEMA pictorial photo.
Oh, that's
on
right.
The,
Yeah, did you see
Facebook.
that on yeah, I bet Vinny's not even aware of this, but this week the DEMA organization released a promo for the DEMA show in New Orleans, which will be in middle of November, and they took a picture and had it as part of their Facebook campaign, and lo and behold, it's Vinny Two Tanks talking to some people at the last DEMA show. Yeah.
Why are they going to have Vinny be the face of DEMA when they literally had all of the scuba queens there?
They had all the scuba queens and Vinny Two Tanks. And
Vinny, you beat the scuba queen.
yeah. Did you know that, Vinny? Did you, or is this news to you? You got to turn your mic on, Vinny.
I don't think that's legal for Vinny to beat on queens.
Oh, quiet, Casey. Yeah, what do you think there, Vinny? Yeah, he still doesn't know how to turn his mic on.
I think
There it
I've
is.
seen that video.
Yeah, well, it's not a video; it's a picture. It's a picture from the DEMA show last year.
I saw the video, but I didn't see the individual picture.
Okay, well, there's no video.
Oh, I got it now.
There's a
Here we go.
picture. Yeah, that's you.
Yeah, they had a whole video of me in that segment, and they pulled that picture out.
Okay.
They actually at one time had that whole video of me on their on the DEMA site.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So there is video of Vinny Two
And then
Tanks.
this is just a snapshot because I'm very enthusiastic at what I do.
Yeah, of course.
The cameraman sensed that I was in the moment.
He's kind of like a male version of a mermaid.
He's got charisma.
No,
Okay.
I just sound like I know what I'm talking about.
which you can't see in the
about
picture.
about air.
Yeah, but
You need to breathe air.
they're making comments about his wardrobe, saying, "Man, that's an attractive
He's a
man.
snappy dresser.
He is. Yeah, they like your
Looks
shirt.
like a member of the mob.
And his hair looks amazing.
Actually, the boss picked those shirts, and I thought they looked just stupid. But
Oh,
everybody
okay.
likes them.
Well,
No, everybody walks up and says, we like your shirts.
right?
And I thought it was stupid, but people like that kind of
so
stuff.
you called your boss's idea stupid.
Yeah, basically.
and not working for him anymore, I guess. Are you? Or
But it doesn't matter, right? Well, I'm working the show for her.
okay, I kid. But yeah, I mean, Kristen, cut him some slack. He
I know. I was just messing.
Yeah. All right. I mean, he's
But
no.
That was a picture of somebody real professional at one moment. Really.
Right.
Yeah, I was just messing around. Jeez, I'm not mean like you guys are.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think she is.
So, hey guys, so this is gonna be Brianna's first real, for lack of a better term,
changing the subject.
First real dive into scuba diving.
I love it.
Do you guys have anything that you recommend that she definitely look at while she's there with us?
Oh,
Or,
everything.
something she should know to give her
All
a
the
heads
things,
up
okay.
beforehand?
Yes. Just soak it all in. I mean, are you a certified scuba diver? First off.
No, but I want to be.
Okay, so you've done some free diving and snorkeling, I assume. Is that the case? No.
I'm
She's a mermaid. She's a mermaid. too, so
everything.
she's working on getting all of
Oh, we got a total a dry
Yeah, I'm a
mermaid.
newbie.
Yeah, you got to get in the water. You're going to dry out, and it's going to be a mess.
But if she
That's
goes
why
to
I
the
have
show,
my
she could get some
water,
free
like,
training.
right
A lot of the
here,
a lot of the
I'm just
shops
trying
offer
to stay
free training.
hydrated, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You could go to the scuba pool.
That's true.
Dude, they have a test pool there.
We
by
do.
The way.
I
No.
did. I read up on the website and I was like, what? So I was excited, but I
Yeah.
was just like, can I go do it? Like, am I ready?
Why not?
Yeah,
They'll probably
you're gonna
provide.
do a instructor.
Yeah, they'll probably have that option available. I think they're planning to set up try scuba things in the pool for people that go to the event. I'm not positive about that, but I
They're
think
posting it. They were promoting it.
They are. Okay. Well, there you go. We'll get her wet that
Take
way.
it from me from personal experience with Greg being a good. He calls himself Greg the Dive Master, but he's actually an
A
instructor.
genius,
and he
right?
is
Yeah.
Phenomenal. He's a phenomenal help. I had a panic moment while we were in Fiji, and he was like, just hook me up to service easy. So if he's there and he's not busy and he can do whatever to help you, he's the person to talk to.
Look at her brown nose.
Time to
I've
suck
raised her
up.
well. God bless her. Yeah. Well, but the scuba show will be a perfect place for you to get your fins wet. there. You know, so if you are that new, I didn't realize that. This will be a great opportunity.
Life happened, and I just didn't have an opportunity or the stand dollars, if you will, to afford to be able to do all this.
So you live out there on the West Coast? You live out there?
I live literally behind the Disneyland hotels.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we won't hold that against you.
Hey, I mean, hey, at least I live in a home.
Hey, that's fine. No, I kid.
As opposed to a sponge at the bottom of the sea.
Yeah. Well, we got Disney here in Orlando.
Yeah, no pineapples.
Too, so.
No pineapples. Sorry.
All right. Stop that. You guys are, I swear you're going to ruin this. We're trying to turn her on to diving, not scare her away, for God's sakes. All right, look, we got more coming up. Stay close to the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Bula Vinaka, I'm Maggie Khan of Matava Eco Resort, Nadeva Kandavu, south of the Pacific Islands in Fiji. You are listening to Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to scuba diving. And now here's a guy I got liquored up enough to put on a grass skirt. Greg the Dive Master. Greg, you wicked girl.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. I think there was some miscommunication in that last segment. Casey's bringing up pineapples. I say, no, don't go there. We don't want to scare these new mermaids and divers away. And CJ thought it was a reference to SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yes.
But it actually was a reference to a hidden signal.
They're agreeing with me.
To swingers. If you put an upside down pineapple on the front door of your cruise ship.
I was thinking SpongeBob.
Exactly. It's not SpongeBob. She knew what was good.
Florida, Greg.
She lives in California. She knows. She knows your hidden meaning. You
So
just
now
stop
they've
it.
taken over the fruit too?
Yes. Yeah, that's the thing. No. Yeah.
No, it was a SpongeBob reference.
Kristen's playing innocent.
Listen,
That's
I was
fine.
right. Casey is the one who said it.
He's
and
lying
he
his fins off right now.
Casey didn't say it. I was the one that said.
Well, you and I know you're a liar.
But Casey should know all of this. I mean, he lives in a swinger capital of the world.
Well,
No, I live in the nudist colony.
Well, that's probably the same thing.
Well,
yeah, they've had incidents. Just for the record, they've had incidents on cruise ships where people have mistakenly put a pineapple on their front door. And I guess the signal is if you have an upside down pineapple on your front door of your cruise ship, it means like you're open to, switching wives and couples or God knows what else. I don't know. I just learned about this.
Where would you get the pineapple?
Well, it'd be like a little magnet sticker. People like dress up their front doors on these cruise ships.
You bring them
and things.
yourself?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Like, happy birthdays and, graphics.
I never knew that.
That kind of thing.
They always say.
Now you know. It's the more you know.
You need a date.
See, Scuba Radio is nothing but informative.
Yes.
Yes.
Of
So
stuff
they say if you need
to look out
new
for.
every Saturday.
Warning. That's more of what that public service announcement was
Well, they
all about.
always say, Greg, if you want a date in Florida, just go to the grocery store and put an upside down pineapple in it. You'll have a date real quick.
Really? I didn't know it. I didn't know it.
Greg,
went
I want to know
that as
how
well.
you knew about all this.
I saw it on the intrawebs.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
On the dark web, you mean, where you hang out?
Of course. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's part of my job to, stay up with the 90s. So that's what I do sometimes. And I just wanted to pass it along.
Yeah, it's okay. Greg. If
I
you wanna
can't
be a
even
swinger,
imagine a
it's
moment of my drunken stupor where I might have accidentally hung up a upside down pineapple. I just can't see it.
Yeah. Well,
Next
let's.
time I'm down, Casey, I'll put one out front.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you guys.
Thanks, Jerry. That just opened a whole bag of problems.
All right. That's enough.
What are friends for, buddy?
You guys are making this
So
very
the
awkward.
Happy Dive
Yeah.
Show. That's
Right.
gonna be fun.
Yes. Just moving on. Thank you, Kristen. Sometimes Scuba Radio, Scuba Squad just get out of control.
Greg, you're a sicko.
Oh, no, I am not. I'm just trying to inform everybody, keep them out of awkward situations.
Oh, Greg,
Too late.
giving us
I
the
appreciate
news.
you guys giving Brianna a heads up to what she's going to experience.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and we apologized in advance, I believe, Brianna. So we're good,
true.
right? Yeah.
You're good. It's all good.
Thank you. So once again, next weekend will be Long Beach, California at the Convention Center will be the dive industry center of the universe. If you're anywhere near that area, make sure you come to the show. Be there early. The show opens 10 a.m. and we're going to be out front, set up, giving away a ton of stuff even before people get into the show. And then once you get into the show as an attendee, you have a shot at like $50,000 worth of prizes. And probably even more because even some of the individual vendors have little giveaways and things. So, Brianna, you might end up winning something. You never know. So that'd be a great opportunity for you. But any diver in the know, I mean, I can't believe you would miss this event. You're really going to be missing out big time because it's sold out on the exhibitor side. The ticket sales are very strong. You can get them online at scubashow.com. I'd highly recommend you getting them in advance. And don't wait to try to get them at the door. It's going to save you a lot of time and trouble because they do get a big crowd. Matter of fact, I believe the first 25 people Saturday and Sunday get like a dive light or something. So people show up early for this event, and we get quite the crowd. And we're going to have Kristen, Kelly, maybe Brianna in a mermaid tail. Who knows? And we're going to have Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. And we're going to have Rachel, who works at the Aquarium of the Pacific. She's going to be the mermaid we're willing to sacrifice and cut in half to open the show. Whether we put her back together, I don't know. That's really up to Scott, the scuba magician, to figure that one out. And she did ask me about that once again. And she goes, what if this doesn't go well? And so I'm like, look, if it bleeds, it leads. We're doing this all for the publicity, for the stunt, for this epic stunt spectacular that has never been done in the dive industry before. It has never happened probably for any event that I'm aware of where you cut a mermaid in half to open an event. This is a truly unique thing. It'll probably be a one and done kind of deal. So you're going to want to be there to witness this, just amazing thing or total disaster.
People will be talking about this for minutes.
At least. And then Saturday night, a big party right there at the convention center, right in the cove, where we're set up at the entrance of the scuba show. So come make a weekend of it, Saturday and Sunday. What's that? Oh, it is very convenient.
How convenient that you just happen to set up where the big party's going to be.
Well, duh. Come on. We are the party, Casey. Come on. Yeah. And but we're giving away stuff Saturday night. Tickets to Fiji on Fiji Airways. We're giving
pineapple stickers.
Casey, the party has to be close to Greg because the mermaids can't walk that far, obviously.
Well, exactly. Actually, I got Tutu Tom, and Vinny Two Tanks is going to help out and be a mermaid wrangler. He's going to double as a mermaid wrangler. Did you know that, Vinny? You did know that, right?
Vinny might like that a little too much.
Hopefully, if I can stay up for it, yeah.
Well, no, I'm talking about in the morning.
You got to remember that's
Saturday
after
morning.
Vinny's. That's after Vinny's nap time.
Well, they know. I'm talking about in the morning. We're not planning to do that for Saturday night. So you'll get up and
I should be up in the morning. Yeah.
You can lift a mermaid.
What's your max deadlift?
Yeah, what is it, Vinny?
I have no idea.
You know the number one rule of being a mermaid wrangler, at least according
bend your legs.
No, according to the Scuba Radio mermaids, doesn't matter how you lift them. For God's sake, don't make them look heavy. They get really upset if you do that.
You might want to start deadlifting a few gallons of milk or something.
No, all our mermaids are very, light. They're light as a feather, and they're in great shape, and it'll be a be no problem whatsoever for Vinny Two Tanks. But
by the way, CJ, how was that chiropractic visit I sent you up for after Bimini?
Okay, that's you're not helping, Casey. I'm trying to
Ixnay on the chiropractor.
I'm just trying to keep Vinny from saying something that he's going to regret. Actually, he won't regret. He'll just blurt it out, and he'll, lift up, and he'll go, "Oh my God!" Just don't do that, Vinny. Okay, I'm warning you.
Okay.
You want to live through the next day.
No, because I was gonna
What were you gonna do? What were you gonna do, Kristen? We lost Kristen.
You know that. No, we didn't lose her.
Yeah.
You didn't lose me. I'm still here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, we'll see what happens next week. It's going to be fun, or it'll be a disaster, but it'll be something you'll want to witness regardless. 2 weeks from today, you'll hear all about it as we record the show from the event, and next week you'll have a special recorded show. So plan accordingly, and we'll leave it with that. Till next time, remember, it's always better wear, gang. Come on.
Downward sweater.
Safe diving, everyone.
If you be pressurized there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio.
Let's go! Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio.
This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters? Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.